Yes. People, what's going on? It's Egal Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Shout out to Months. Before we even get anything started, shout out to Big Six Bands for the raid. Shout out to everyone who's over there. I think Kunle was there, Callum was there, of course Months was there, and Big Man Hooks in the building also. Hooks is tall, you know. When I met Hooks, I was like,
huge.
that guy's huge. You know, you wouldn't tell by the way he has his camera set up. He has it.
Bro, you only banter him online. You don't banter him to his face, man.
Yeah, bro. Hook might give you a hook.
He's like a bouncer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, big lad, you know. But let's get onto it, guys. Let's get onto it. We got a lot to talk about. International break is over. Premier League football is coming back. Arsenal's going to be facing none other than Nottingham Forest. You know, Nottingham Forest at home was the first time I went to a game where an opponent said to me, "Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that." I've never been to a game versus Chelsea. I've been to games versus Man United. They never bring it up. I've been to games versus Liverpool. They never bring it up. I've been to games versus other teams. They never bring it up. It's just you guys were literally brought a replica Champions League trophy, and we're chilling in the away end, just jumping up and down. It was a funny vibe.
Which one was that? Was that the 5?
That was the game that Saka got injured and Reece Nelson came on and scored a goal.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, I was there as well.
You were there that game. I was chilling in the box seats, bro. I got invited by Arsenal on YouTube. Arsenal invited me down. But yo, before we go any further, please do hit that like button, guys. Please do hit that subscribe button. I think there's only one way to start this whole thing. Edu has joined your club and sacked Nuno, and now Ange is the new man in charge. I don't know where to begin. Should I begin with Edu? Should I begin with Nuno? Should I begin with Ange?
We start with Edu because, like, I get differing opinions on Edu from Arsenal fans. I've never asked you about Edu. What did you think of Edu while he was at Arsenal?
Edu was holding us back. Edu was holding us back. He was not. He did some good things, but to be honest, he was not the best at negotiating deals. He was not the best at negotiating signings. Everything took forever. We weren't quick and decisive. It seemed like we didn't have an idea what our plan was going into some windows. And while we're in the window, at times we would take so long with our first target. If we don't get him, we're kind of screwed. So I don't know if you had a similar situation with Edu at Nottingham Forest, but he does kind of leave things for late, continues to persist with things even though it might not go his way. And one thing I will say, Edu, he did a good job helping build the team to a certain level, but I felt like he was incapable of going into certain rooms and getting what he wanted. He always came out of that room with less than what he wanted to go in with. So
you're saying that because you're Arteta's boy?
No, transfers. Whenever Edu or anyone at Arsenal walked into a room before this window, it was always, "You're going to meet our demands. We're never going to buckle." We walk into a room with Andrea Berta. No offense to Edu, Andrea Berta kind of gets his way. He got his way with the gyokeres deal. He got his way with the deal for Mascara. He got his way with the deal now with Hincape. I've seen him go into multiple deals. The only things that I'll say about Edu, he did bring us Declan Rice. He did eventually get us guys that we wanted. He did bring us big signings, but he had to pay the going rate. He had to pay the release clause for Partey. He had to pay over the odds for guys like Kai Havertz and stuff to get the deal over the line. I don't think he is a great at his job. I don't think you guys poached him from Arsenal thinking that he was a big part of building us up. Well, I think he only played a small part. I don't think it was his recruitment or his scouting, because he wanted the likes of Bruno Guimaraes and Lucas Paqueta at Arsenal. I think Arsenal they didn't let him do his job to a certain degree. There was times where we cut him off, but then there's also times where I felt like when we wanted to get a deal done, he was taking forever to get the deal done.
But didn't he get you, like they're saying it in the chat, Declan Rice, Saliba, Gabriel, Odegaard? You love all of those, don't you, Egal?
I like those guys. Don't get me wrong. My issue with Edu was the length of time it takes him to get a deal done and also the fact that things drag out, and at the end we just end up paying what they asked us to pay in the first place.
But could you not argue we saw the same thing this summer with the gyokeres, for example? That
No.
dragged out.
We dropped the gyokeres price by over 30 mil.
Yeah, but it dragged out.
No, but what we did was we pinned two strikers against each other, and we ended up getting Gyokeres' price down from 80 million euros to 55, based on the fact that we had the options between Sesko and Gyokeres, and then we ended up getting the deal down to a good price. And I think
what about Madueke?
I think Edu would have still been fighting until the season started with Sesko and persisting with Sesko and not being decisive on which one he wants.
Okay, but what about Madueke? Surely even
Madueke, looking back at it now, Madueke was a good signing because of the way that I don't want to spend too much time on Arsenal. I want to stay on Forest. Yeah. But my thing is, I think you've seen it again with the signing of Zinchenko. I think Zinchenko's signing was basically, hey, it's late in the window. We might need a left back cover. We might need another midfielder. Let's just go get Zinchenko. I don't think you're happy with the Zinchenko signing, are you?
No. But so not for footballing reasons. But anyway, that's a whole different thing.
To me, the biggest black mark on Edu's time at Arsenal is his last transfer window and the debacle with Raheem Sterling and the fact that we were so desperate.
Yeah, that was shocking. Yeah. Look, from our side with Edu, I've been quite impressed with him because, well, basically he got rid of Nuno. That's the reality of it. Nuno tried to get Adama Traore. That's who he wanted. And Edu basically told him no. And there was a whole story behind it. But Edu's done nothing wrong at Forest. I think he's had a really good transfer window. Like, he's brought in Douglas Luiz, he brought in Bakwa, he's brought in Kalamawendo, he's brought in McAtee, he's brought in Hutchinson. There's loads of strength and depth right now for us. Egal, Jesus, we bought 13 players. We've had a busy transfer window. I do agree it was a little later in the window than I would have liked. Some did come in early, like Dan and Doy and stuff, but that was mainly because of the Europa versus Conference League stuff with Crystal Palace. So that's why there was a delay to see where we were. But I've actually been impressed with Edu so far. And remember, he's dealing with like 4 clubs now. So he's got the whole Marinakis empire to deal with. And there's a takeover going on probably at Botafogo right now in Brazil to expand the empire further. And I'm hearing Arsenal want to change to a multi-club system as well now. I've heard some reports about that.
I think that's the only way to go. But I don't want to speak about Arsenal too much. We're going to save that for a little bit later. Let's go to now Nuno getting sacked, Ange coming in. Nobody at Forest is really shocked that Nuno got sacked. Am I wrong?
What I will say is nobody was asking for Nuno to be sacked. This is the crazy thing about it. Nuno did a great job last year. He was fine. Yes, his style of play is a little bit boring, a little bit defensive, but he got the results got us into Europe. So no one really had, obviously there's going to be a small percentage that were Nuno out. I was annoyed with the way we finished, the way we bottled Champions League. We should have comfortably finished 3rd last season. Again, that was on Nuno because he declined doing a January transfer window. He didn't reinforce the money was there if he wanted it. And we ended up tired and injuries and what have you. That was on him. But his ego, I think, has got in the way and he's hit the self-destruct button. He didn't like that Edu came in and created an extra layer between him and Marinakis. That was the key thing. And that's why he said what he said in the press conference. In my opinion, he instigated his own sacking. He didn't walk. What manager walks? They all want their payoff. He just signed a new 3-year deal in June. So he knew Edu was there. He knew Edu was coming in. He knew what the roles were going to be. So I'm a little disappointed in him. And it's annoying because he's been extremely professional his whole time at Forest. Speaks very well, got things organized, got us from 7th, well, with the PSR points deductions, stopped the relegation, jumped us from 17th up to 7th last year. So he was building a really good squad. And I don't know why he's done this. And he's got a track record of doing it. He's done it at Wolves. He fell out in Saudi with players like Benzema and a couple of others. It's his track record. He seems to get to like 2.5 year mark and then hits the self-destruct button. So when he did that press conference, that's when he lost me. It's like
Mm.
Marinakis has spent over 200 million. Forest have spent the fifth most or something in this transfer window. Forest have the most expensive squad in the Europa League of all the teams in there, and he was still crying about transfer windows. It just felt to me he wanted to go.
What was it about the window specifically that he was speaking about? Because I don't get it either.
So there was two phases. He was right in his first presser, which he did about 4 or 5 weeks ago, roughly there. He did it on Sky Sports saying, "We're not ready. We haven't got the squad," which is right. But that was when the whole Crystal Palace thing was going on with Europa. As soon as that got announced, Forest took the handbrake off, and we saw players coming in every other day. Even once the players came in, he did his presser the day after we signed Douglas Luiz. And that squad was nearly done. I think 2 or 3 more players came in after that. And he started crying about it. At that stage, I disagreed with him. The squad was looking strong.
Wow, I'm looking at your transfer window. In case anyone doesn't know, Nottingham Forest have brought in a bunch of players.
Yeah, 13, yeah.
What is that? Amari Hams, Hutchinson made no sense. 43 million was a
Yeah, but
madness.
Hutchinson is Edu's boy, and he used to be in your academy.
Okay, that was mad though. The reason why he actually left Arsenal was because his agent said he's leaving because you guys are not treating me well. His agent basically doesn't want any of his players playing at Arsenal.
We overpaid for him. I don't mind him as a player, but I think he's a 20 mil player.
That's an agent thing. You guys rubbed
Yeah,
one.
is it that Kai guy? Is that his
Yeah,
agent? Yeah,
Kia or
he's
whatever.
been poking his nose in our business this transfer window as well.
But then
Yeah,
this is where I look at Edu's work. 4 of the Brazilian guys.
all from one team.
Also Douglas Luiz. You don't get all these guys without Edu. So fair play to that.
Yeah, the standout ones for me are Douglas Luiz. You guys were after him 2 years back, before he went to Juve.
Yeah.
I also really like Bakwa, bro. Bakwa is gonna be an absolute baller. From Strasbourg. Like, he was my second choice. My dream choice would have been Akliouche from Monaco, but Forest were loosely linked with him, nothing too serious. But Bakwa is a player, man. I really like him. Dan Ndoye's already scoring goals and getting assists. He looks like he's going to be good. And Callum Owendo, he's going to be special. He's going to be special. I got a feeling on him. So it's a good transfer window.
What's your window out of 10 before we move on to Ange?
I give it like an 8.
An 8.
We needed one more fullback and a CDM.
Zinchenko's not good enough?
Bro, ban that guy, man. Like, seriously, I can't stand him. Like, he's, forget what he does off the pitch. On the pitch, I think he's a good midfielder.
He's a whiner, yeah.
He's a good midfielder. I think he's a terrible defender. He will, however, he will be perfect for Ange Ball. The way he inverts. Ange loves inverting his fullbacks. Zinchenko is going to be absolutely ideal. Some speculate.
Talk to me about Ange. Great signing. Is it weird you're signing almost the exact opposite of how Nuno was playing?
Yeah, but you got to remember, Ange and Marinakis are really good friends. They've been friends for years. It is exactly what you said, the polar opposite. Marinakis wants Forest to progress into an attacking possession-based team. This is attacking possession based on steroids. I've been doing some analysis on his formations and Ange Ball and everything else. Bro, it's so scary the way he sets up in his triangles and in his pivot with the CDM and how he makes it narrow and then uses the 8s out wide. It's a crazy system, but when it works, but it leaves you so vulnerable to being high pressed. If you lose the ball high up in your pitch, you got 2 men covering. That's it. But if it clicks and if it's right, I think it can work. I think people are too harsh on him because this is what I've had loads of the Spurs boys, them all as well. They've been at me, oh, Ange Ball, high line for life and all this stuff. I just simply say to them, let's be real. Ange was able to do miracles at Spurs, a dusty Spurs team that hasn't won a European Cup in 40 years. that the biggest thing they can shout about is they won the Carling Cup in 2008, and Ange walked in and brought you a trophy, and you all celebrated it, you hypocrites, right? So to make Spurs win a trophy is a feat that I don't think many men on this planet are physically capable of
Jose
in
said
that
it's
shit
impossible.
club. Huh?
Jose said it's impossible. And
It's yeah, exactly.
and you're getting a Tottenham legend at your club. He's basically a club.
So I said to them, I've got their greatest manager in the last 40 years. Yeah. And that shuts them up. Because let me reword it. I've got their most successful manager in the last 40 years.
Last
And they
40 or
can't
20?
win. Huh?
Last 40 or 20?
40.
George Graham won a trophy. Who else?
What did he win? What did he win? The FA Cup?
George
No,
Graham
it's a
won a
Carabao.
trophy. George Graham won a trophy. Who won the Carabao in 2008?
Who was it? Was it One Day Ramos or Harry Redknapp? I can't remember.
I think it was Ramos. I forget though.
Yeah,
Anyways,
but the Europa League is a bigger trophy than a League Cup, bro.
True.
So
That
he
is
is their most successful manager in the last 40 years. I don't expect you to sit here and defend Spurs, by the way, bro. Like we have a mutual
I'm not
hatred.
defending them. I'm just trying to get the facts right. As for Ange, how do you think he's going to set up? Is he going to still keep the back three? Is he immediately going to shift you guys back to a back four? How have you guys been playing this season? What has been your problem this season, and what do you think he can solve before we go into the Arsenal game?
Our problem goes back to probably April last year, and that is we can't break down. It's a similar problem to what you have. We can't break down a defensive team. When Forest where Forest worked well last year was like pick the ball up to the opposition, say, here you go, you have the ball, come at us. And then oppositions kind of sussed it out towards the end of the season. We're like, no, we're going to kick it back to you. You're at home. You can break us down. We can't break down low block teams, which I think you got a similar problem with. This is why I actually think Ange can work, because I think his style of play could cause, get those cracks in those opposition teams that want to go defensive. We will be definitely susceptible to counterattacking plays. However, I don't think we see it against Arsenal. Not because I don't think he would. I just don't think he's had enough time.
Save the Arsenal preview part till later in the show. So my thing with Forest is I'm confused, because if you're saying you're struggling against the teams that play low blocks against you, not majority of teams are going to play low blocks against you, because majority of teams are going to go toe to toe with you because they think they're similar levels. West Ham, what happened in that game? How did you lose?
That's what happened. West Ham was very compact. They had like two solid banks of four. Forest had the majority of the possession. I don't know what the stats are, but to the eye, it felt like that. We just couldn't penetrate through them, and we're just lumping some crosses in. We're lumping balls over the top if they were slightly higher. You just never felt like we were able to break it because West Ham didn't step out and play. And they were the ones who were catching us on the counter-attack. And it started to feel when you got to the 80th minute that it just felt like it was going to go wrong. And it did. I put that whole game on Nuno as well, because I think his setup was wrong. When Gibbs-White had an absolute stinker. 15 minutes into the game, if I was in charge, I'd have hooked him. He was that bad. He played the full 90. He left Douglas Luiz on the bench. I think it's a protest vote. We haven't seen Douglas Luiz for a single minute. He was on the bench for the last two games. It's because it's the whole Nuno beef. He then brought on Callum Mwendo, I think, in the 89th minute. He brought on Hutchinson in the 89th minute. He took off Dan and Doy instead of Gibbs-White, brought on McAtee, played him on the right, where I think McAtee's strongest position is in the 10. It was all derailing because I think of what was going off the pitch with the presser, with all the uncertainty was still around it. And like, I love Marinakis, but I do think that one mistake he made was he didn't pull the trigger straight after the Crystal Palace match.
Hey, I know you've seen my tweet and I stand by it. Unpopular opinion, he's one of the best owners, and that's exactly what you want as an owner. Yeah. People who hate on him because of things that they don't even know about is silly. But yeah, people in the chat, I'm going to put a poll question. who do you think is going to win the game? We've not gotten to the prediction section yet, but while we're waiting to get there, I would like you guys to let me know what you think the score is going to be. Is it going to be a draw? Is Arsenal going to win? Is Forest going to win? You guys let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the comment section by voting in the poll. And please do hit the like button. We have over 400 of you guys, and we only have 50 likes. You guys can easily hit that like button right now. Okay, let's get over to Arsenal. We spoke 20 minutes about Forest. Good to get a little bit of understanding. If you guys don't already know, Wolfie's a Forest fan. You've been a Forest fan your whole life. We spoke about it last time when he was on the show, how he became a Forest fan, in case you guys haven't already heard that. Do you want to tell people how you became a Forest fan again one more time?
Yeah, it's like the most exciting story ever, bro. Because my parents from Libya, so I had no associations with any team. So yeah, growing up, the first game I remember was Forest against Spurs in the FA Cup final back in '91. So I just really liked like this dude on the side of the pitch in this green jumper. He was just looked like a character, and obviously I'm talking about Brian Clough. And then yeah, I just started following them. They had a weird name. I never heard a team that was called Nottingham Forest. And then you start looking into the history of it, and you start getting into it. And then we started having players like Collymore, Brian Roy, Ian Wone, finishing third in the league. So that's kind of how I got into the whole Forest thing. There's no like family association, so it wasn't like my dad or my uncle supported Forest. And then yeah, in my school growing up, there was 2 Forest fans in my school, 2 or 3. The rest were like Man U. Spurs was probably the most popular team in my school. So I hate Spurs. All my mates are Spurs fans.
I never seen any Spurs fans until I came to the UK. But now that I'm here, I see them always.
Yeah. My brother's a Spurs fan, so that rivalry, there's never really been a Forest Spurs rivalry, but me and my brother always had a Forest Spurs rivalry. So growing up, it was like that. But yeah, so that's kind of the boring story. It's not that exciting.
Let's get into the good stuff now. Everyone's talking about Arsenal's attack. Well, Arsenal's players played very well during the international break. Odegaard has cut his hair. The boys have had a really good international break. By the way, Madueke looks good for England. Odegaard 11-1 versus Macedonia. Norway scored 11 goals. Erling Haaland had 5 goals and like 3 assists. Odegaard had 2 assists and a goal. What a friggin' international break these guys have had. So gyokeres got an assist. Odegaard had 2 goals, 2 assists and a goal. Rice had a goal and 2 assists. What do you call it? Madueke scored a goal. Madueke got created a chance that led to an own goal. You have who else is there? Eze was playing. Eze didn't have the best. Eze didn't have the best international break. Who else is there? Moreno scored a hat trick. Of course, Zubimendi also got an assist and multiple assists during the international break. Very good break for these guys. And you know the best thing of them all, it's been 12 years since Arsenal have finished an international break with no injuries. I'm very happy. This has been a good international break for Arsenal. And everyone talks about our attack. I don't think we have an attacking problem, bro. I think people are over-exaggerating. Wolfie?
I don't think you have any problems, to be honest, apart from a managerial one. You know my stance on your boy Arteta. You can shake your head all you want, bro. I think, look, I said in your previous game, that will tell me a lot about Arteta. I don't think it decides the title, but I wanted to see Arteta go and not be scared to lose by trying to win. And I just thought you were too defensive. I didn't think Liverpool were that good. I think you could have beat them. I think you could have beat them if you'd put a slightly more kind of... You didn't even need a more attacking team. You needed a more attacking mentality. I think Liverpool were there for the taking. They weren't clicking, man. They weren't clicking. And to have one shot on goal, I thought was poor. So I think... But overall, before that game, I was defending what Arsenal were doing. Because against Manchester United, where you beat them 1-0, you had United fans talking like... I had to double check the score. I had to double check that Man U didn't actually win, because the way Man U fans were talking, you would have thought they won the game.
They were taking the moral victory because they played well.
Bro, they're pathetic, man. They're absolutely pathetic. So,
all right. Let's bring it back to what you said about the manager. I don't think the manager is the problem.
It
I
was
think
the
the
play.
personnel has been the problem. And now that we have the likes of Eze, Odegaard, Gyokeres, Saka, Rice, all these guys are going to be able to be on the pitch at the same time. You're going to see the level of creativity that we're going to have. Plus, you're going to see the finishing quality from all these guys that can finish their own chances.
Why
You're
didn't
not
we
going to
see
have
them against
Martin.
Liverpool?
I don't think you're going to have Martinelli starting versus Forest at the Emirates. I don't think you're going to see Trossard starting. You're not going to see Saka either because Saka's still injured. Saliba's not going to be available because he's injured, but Mosquera can do a job. I think the issue Arsenal have had for the last couple of years has been one, Manchester City have been better than us. Two, last year we had a very bad injury record, and we couldn't compete with the squad that we had. And now I don't think there's any excuses with the squad depth that we have and the quality we have across the team. I think we finally have a team where we can say we are amongst the best and we should be able to get over the line, regardless of how good Liverpool are. Regardless of how good Liverpool are, I think Arsenal is still one of the best and can go and win this league this year. And I
I
think we
I
will.
I would like to see you win it. I'd like to see my son see a trophy lifted as he's an Arsenal fan. But I just don't see it. It's forget what you're saying about the play. I think your squad last year was good enough. I think your squad the year before was good
The
enough.
injuries were the problem last year. We didn't have
And
the
the year
depth.
before?
The year before, Man City were just better than us. They
Bro,
caught
you
us.
just got excuses for every single year, man.
I'm not
At some
saying I'm
point
not
you're
giving
gonna have to
excuse.
point
I'm
the
not giving
finger at
excuse.
the manager.
I'm just admitting that they were the better team.
Yeah, but you were all you had to do was beat Villa. And you would have
We
been
lost.
champs.
We lost, and then we couldn't catch up. We couldn't do anything. At that point, they weren't going to slip. Man City, 10 games remaining, they don't slip up.
Yeah, but that you know why? Mentality. You know why? That comes from the manager. This is the point, Egal. If I'm an Arsenal player who's been there for the last 4 years and seen these runs, the second, I'm starting to look at the manager and think, do I believe in him? Can he get us over the line? Has he got that mentality, that strength to make me believe that we can do it? And I would like to see it happen, but it just that Liverpool game was really worrying for me, looking through it from your paradigm. That I would, if I was an Arsenal fan, if you had gone to Liverpool and tried to win and lost, even if you'd lost 2-0, but I saw the intent from the manager to say that I'm coming to your backyard at Anfield. We're here to win it. We're here to show you we're serious. I would have preferred that as an Arsenal fan than trying to just like
Bro,
bore out a draw.
let's be honest, that was a goalless draw until Szoboszlai had his brilliant moments. I don't think either team can come out of that game say we took it at them
You
and we
can't do
went.
that. You
You
can't do
can't.
that. No, you
Liverpool,
can't because
Liverpool,
then
Liverpool. From the 60th minute onwards, yes, they had a better part to the end of the game. They had a bit more than us. But
all right. So by that logic,
I think the game was a 50-50 game. And to say that we didn't go there to try to win, bro, the first half we were all over them. We just couldn't get the
you
ball
didn't
into the
create
final
anything.
third.
You didn't create anything. But
No,
by
no,
that logic, Egal,
we had majority of the possession. We had majority of everything. We just couldn't get our chances. We couldn't create anything. You're right. And
yeah,
I
because
think that's down
you had
to,
3 CDMs on the pitch. That's
by the
probably
way,
why.
Moreno is not a CDM. And Rice is not. You can't consider Rice a CDM anymore. He's a box-to-box midfielder, and Moreno is more of an attacking player because all his best work he does in the box.
But let me ask you, by that logic, because you said it was a 0-0 game barring the free kick.
I would have played Eze to start on the left, but I guess Arteta did not want to do that first game away at Anfield. He didn't
I
want to
would have
throw
played
him.
Eze in the middle,
I would have
personally.
thrown Ethan or Odegaard in the middle, and then we would have had way more creativity for Gyokeres. But hey,
Exactly my point. Exactly what I'm saying to you. The creativity wasn't there. And by what you just said there, it was a 0-0 game barring the free kick. By that logic, Man U fans would be justified to say it was a 0-0 game barring the corner.
I
You
know,
can't.
but I never sat here and said we had a good game versus either Man United or Liverpool. I think both games have been tough, and unfortunately, we didn't get the result versus Liverpool. And fortunately, we got the result versus Manchester United. That just goes to show the level of difference in quality that we're facing away at Anfield compared to Old Trafford.
They weren't good, Egal. Don't tell me that Liverpool team has clicked or even close to clicking. They were not. You were the better team. Like
Yeah.
in terms of setup and everything.
No, but
But you
you
would
also
not.
just
Neither
you
team was good
contradicted yourself.
creatively.
No, but you just contradicted yourself because in one breath you're saying we were the better team, but in the other breath you're
In
saying
the
we
way
didn't
you
score.
set up, I'm saying. In the
Okay.
way you set up, you didn't creatively. Neither team was good.
You know what? I agree with you on the setup part. I don't want to argue that point because I agree with you there. I've said on numerous times I would have rather played somebody else than Mikel Moreno, but I think Arteta made a mistake in how he utilizes our tens at Arsenal. He needs to let them play more central and drift to either side. He had Mikel Moreno playing as a right 8 and Declan Rice playing as the left 8, which then has which then we have 4 players behind gyokeres and no space for each other to get passing lanes in, and it's just the spacing is off. I think if we were to have a Zubimendi Rice pivot, it would allow us to play a 4-2-3-1, and it would then give us more space to get balls in behind and to find space in the middle with an attacking player, be it Odegaard, be it Ethan, be it Eze, whoever it is. I want it to be more of a double pivot with Zubimendi and Rice, and less of a midfield 3 where you have Zubimendi as the deepest player. It just gives us more balance in the attack, I think. What do you think about that?
I don't think it matters. I think I still honestly, I'm telling you, it's the mentality. It's the
What do you think the
mentality.
mentality is then?
I just think here's my point. I think Arteta went there and probably delivered his message to your players, saying if we leave here with a point, that's a fantastic result.
But
That's honestly
that was the mentality of some of the greatest managers to ever play in this league. Sir Alex Ferguson used to always say in a title race, the team that you're going up against, you beat them at your ground, and if you go to their ground, you get a result. Any be it a draw or a win, either way, you're happy.
But Alex Ferguson is coming from a position of winning stuff. As much as I hate him, he's coming from a winning position. Therefore, the opponents are the one who are chasing him down. Therefore, they are the heirs, not heirs to the throne, but the challengers to the throne. You're going to Liverpool, current champs. Go and send a message, man. Go and send a message. Because what you're basically saying by going there and saying, right, let's get a draw's a good point. You're saying, okay, we'll get a draw here and we'll rely on other teams to get some draws against Liverpool to help us out. Instead of saying, honestly, I really would have respected Arteta if you lost 2 or 3-0, but you took it to Liverpool.
I think you're right, but we also have to look at the concept of Odegaard being injured, right?
Or
Coming
you
into the
can't
game.
do injuries this year. I'm sorry, Egal.
No.
You do not get
I'm
to do
simply
injuries this
saying the
season.
reason why he didn't start Odegaard was because he came off injured versus Leeds, and the reason why he didn't
You told
start.
me at the start of the season the squad is deep enough and
No.
there's
But
no
he should
injury
have played.
excuses.
He should have played Ethan or Eze. I agree, but I'm simply saying the reason why, putting myself in the manager's shoes at that moment in time, I would have played Ethan or as a minimum in that 10
Agreed.
position
I agree.
over Moreno. But from what I've seen during the international break, Moreno's fully capable of being a second striker or another attacking 10, similar to how you have a Scott McTominay at Napoli
Yeah,
being
that
another
tells
box
you
crusher
how he set
midfielder.
them up. That's how he set them
The
up.
way he set us up was wrong. I agree. And I don't think anyone's saying they disagree with that. I'm just simply saying I don't think the Liverpool game was a game where we came in and had the mentality of, oh, we just want to come out of here with anything. I do think we tried to come there and win. It's just
I don't
our
think you
game
did.
plan didn't work. And fair play to Liverpool.
I think your game plan worked until the free kick. This is my point I'm making. I guarantee you Arteta would have happily taken a point. Now, I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying a point against Anfield is a bad thing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the approach of the game. That's where I'm taking issue with Arteta. You have had, every Arsenal fan tells me, your best window in years. I'm sure you would agree with that. This has been a very good window for Arsenal. Therefore, you should have enough chest to take on the Kings, the current champs at their own place and put out a statement. And I just don't feel
let's do the predicted 11s for each team, and I'll start with
oh my god,
Arsenal.
man, this is gonna be
I'll
tough.
start with
Okay, Arsenal, let's do Arsenal, that'll be easier.
I'll start with Arsenal because you probably don't know what your manager is thinking yet.
Not a
He
clue.
just joined, right? So
Yeah.
Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, predicting starting 11. Let me know, guys, what you guys think in the comment section. Also, what you think the starting 11 is going to be. We play Saturday 12:30 kickoff, right?
Bro,
So
I
we're
hate
starting.
12
We're kicking
studies.
off. We're kicking off the Premier League. What do you call it? Return from the international break, and then we got only 3 games, and then there's another international break, right? Or 4 games. What is it?
And then another one in November as well, man.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you need a break. I'm trying to use these international breaks to chill out
Sleep.
myself. I might go on vacation. Arsenal. This was how we set up versus Liverpool. The changes we're gonna make is Eze comes in for Martinelli, in my opinion, and Odegaard walks straight back into the team for Moreno. The thing is, we don't set up this way. We set up this way at Arsenal, and we usually have Nani Madueke playing over there and Eze on that side. So I think this is how we're going to set up. But I
But
would
what's the
prefer
latest on Saka? Is Saka still out?
Saka's still out. Yeah, Saka's still out.
Yeah.
He's going to be out for this game. If I just go to Arsenal Forest and I go to what it says here, Saka's hamstring. He's going to be back late September. Ben White, he's doubtful, but he should be back soon, hopefully. Norgard, he picked up a knock during preseason and never came back yet.
Mhm.
He's most likely going to get sold, Jesus, once he comes back. I don't know if we're going to play him a single game. We might not want to risk getting him injured before the January window. And Havertz is out until October. He could be back before the new year, but we don't know what's going on with his. He's probably out until 2026. To be fair, I don't know about October 25. That's some crazy knee injury to return from surgery that early. And Saliba, he's only out for a couple games. He twisted his ankle before the Liverpool game. He should be fine.
That's a lot of injuries already, bro. That's a lot of
yeah,
injuries.
but it could be worse. We could be Man City. I don't know if you've seen Man City's injury list. Man City's injury list is 10
I'm
times
just
worse.
remember you said no injury excuse this season.
I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
just
saying
making sure.
it could be worse. Look at these guys. And Marmoush just got injured for them too. It could be worse. Everyone gets injuries. We have to just deal with it.
Exactly.
As for this right here, Arsenal, boom. The changes that I make from the Liverpool game, I told you, it is going to be Odegaard and Eze. Everything else is going to be the same. I think Calafiori has been one of our best players, and I think the key matchup I'm going to look out for in this game is actually Saliba's out, so Christian Mascara is coming in, and I want to see how Christian Mascara does versus what would it be, Chris Wood?
I don't know if it'll be Chris. Chris Wood's been playing over in international, so he's had a long flight back.
So who's going to start for Forest?
He's not injured. I think it could be Calamuendo. I think Calamuendo or Igor Jesus. But I think Calamuendo.
Him?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
And what's the other rest of the guys?
I think it's tough to judge. Ainar's picked up a hamstring injury while he's away for Nigeria. So I think what you'll see is Nico Williams move to right back. I don't know who else, because we can't play Zinchenko, because he'll be parent club tied, won't he?
Yeah.
So it would have to be Savano, but he's just about recovered from his injury. In fact, switch them background, bro. Sorry, Savano's right side. It's Nico Williams.
So you want Eze to go against Savano and Nico versus Madueke?
Savano's really good against techie players. Like, he absolutely locked up Rafael Leao against AC Milan.
Sangara start?
Huh?
Sangara,
I don't know if he'll use. Anderson will definitely play. I think Douglas Luiz will come in for Sangare. I think that's what we'll see. This isn't what I would do. This is what I think Andrew will do. And then Anderson will play as the 6, Luiz will play as the 8, or they'll play like it's a double pivot. I think you might see Dan Ndoye on the left-hand side, Hudson-Odoi drop, and Bakwa coming in on the right-hand side.
Wait. So if I freeformed it, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's the right formation. So drop Hudson-Odoi, put Ndoye on the left.
Him?
Yeah. And then
where is he going?
He's going on the bench, but it'll be Bakwa on the right-hand side.
What's his name? This guy.
Back yeah. I think he'll go on the right hand side. I think it'll be something like that.
So you guys play a 4-2-3-1, right?
Yeah, and Ange does play a 4-2-3-1 as well. So I think that will be roughly it.
Fair. Let me just switch to them. There, fair. So we're not doing no combined 11. Don't worry about that. But before we go any further, man, before we go into predictions and everything, honestly, do you think Arsenal are not going to be even serious about this title? Like, you still doubt the manager that much, where you're saying Arsenal
I
need to
hope
be
you are. I'll put it this way: if you win the league this season, it'll be because of the players, not the manager. It'll be in spite of the manager.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Gyokeres will have a good season. I think Eze will be fantastic for you. I rate him so highly. I really hope you don't play him on the left. I want to see him more central. I just don't think the manager's mentality gets you over the line, bro. And you need to change. You need a manager who is elite, who is ready to put that mentality into the players that you will win at all costs. And that's not Arteta. I still think City win it. Maybe.
City.
Maybe. I don't know.
City
I need a
are
couple
nowhere
more games.
near it, bro.
I don't know, man. Pep. You know
We're
what? Pep
gonna
looks.
play City in the Emirates a couple weeks from now. You're gonna see they're nowhere near it defensively,
If
and
you
they're
beat
gonna face
them, then so
Manchester
do you.
United. They could drop points to Manchester United.
Yeah, if they drop to Man U, then they're done. They're done. But
And
I
their
don't know.
injuries, bro. They have 10 injuries. Man City are in so many ways they're in trouble. Like, they're cursed this season. The way they have so many injuries,
Yeah, but
I feel
Pep is
sorry for
Pep,
them.
man. Pep will find something. I don't know.
Pep
I
couldn't
just
find solutions last season.
ideally I would like you. If Forest don't win the league, obviously I would like you to win it, and then Man City. I don't want to see Liverpool win it again. I think everyone's overdoing the Liverpool hype, starting to get annoying. But yeah, I just don't. He can't do it, bro. Everyone seems to think I have an Arsenal agenda. I don't. I don't. My son supports Arsenal. I have to take him every now and again to watch the Arsenal games. I don't have an agenda against. I have an agenda against your manager because I look back at what this club of yours used to be like, and it's a shadow of itself. Absolute shadow of
What do you mean
itself.
it's a shadow? This is the best we've been in damn near 2 decades.
Yeah, but I am talking about 2 decades ago.
Okay.
That was a proper team with proper standards, man.
All right. What's
Proper
the key tactical battle for you? Set pieces? What is it?
I don't think it will be the set pieces. I think it will be, but the battle will be: does Ange try Ange ball off the bat without much training time with the players, or does he try to go defensive, or do we get a manager bounce? Like, Arsenal should win this game. If you asked me this 2 days ago, I'd have said Arsenal win this game. I just think there's always a little bit of a manager bounce somewhere, and I think it could end up.
But usually manager bounce has something to do with the players not trusting the manager. Do you think there was that kind of issues with Nuno?
Yeah, that's a good point, because this isn't a case of a manager's got sacked because he's left a team in dire straits. You know, they've lost loads. Forest are not in a bad position. So this is going to be a philosophy change. I honestly have no clue. I would say Arsenal are definitely favourites. We've done rubbish at the Emirates since we've been back up. I think we scored 1 goal in 3 games there and not picked up a point. You should win. I wonder if Ange has got a trick up his sleeve. Everyone is expecting halfway line, back line. I wonder if he goes a little bit defensive and just shows something different. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think the key battle will be in the flanks, because if Ange goes for Ange ball, he leaves spaces out wide, and you'll kill us on the flanks. If he goes more orthodox, then the battle becomes in the midfield. Anderson right now is in scintillating form. It'll be good to see how he was playing with Rice just recently in the England games. Now they'll be facing against each other, so I think that will be a very good battle. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think maybe a draw. Maybe a draw.
Maybe a draw.
Mm.
I don't think we're gonna draw this game. I think this
You
is the
think you're
game
gonna
where we
lose?
show our I think this is the game where we show our attacking talents. This is the game where we show how forward thinking we can actually be. This is the game where we show the quality in and the creativity that we have at home versus a team that is just recently got their manager in. The players, I don't know how they're gonna play in the new system. I don't know. There's a relative unknown from your side. I get that.
That's the thing. Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a relative unknown on how Arsenal can play at their best because we haven't seen it yet this season. This season, we've not seen Odegaard and Eze in the same team with gyokeres. We haven't seen that yet. And I think in this game versus Forest, you're going to see Eze on the left drifting inwards and playing in that left half space, Odegaard playing in the right half space, having two different creators on each side. Gyokeres is going to get a lot of service in this game, and I think this is probably going to be one of his best games since he's joined. I know he had a good game versus Leeds, but I think he's going to have an even better game. And I do think they've been pinpointing things that they can do to improve during this international break, and I have no doubt in my mind that Arteta and the Arsenal coaching staff will go and find solutions on how to create chances. But Forest is not a team that I expect to sit with five at the back, a mid to low block, and not come out there and try to attack us. You are going to come and attack us. You're going to leave us chances to get at you. And I think that's where you're going to suffer.
Yeah, I think if we play defensive, then you struggle.
Yeah, but I don't think you're going to play defensive. I think if Nuno was still in charge, you have a better chance of getting a point from this game.
Yeah, I agree. If we had normal Nuno, not what's been happening over the last 2 weeks, I would have fancied a draw. I just think the key word you said there was it's an unknown. Because I can't sit here and tell you, like the team I showed you, he may pick a completely different 11 in every position. So it's going to be interesting, but
you know how
I don't know, man. Manager bounce. I'm just relying on manager bounce on this.
You know how Ange is. Ange walked into Spurs first day, said we're going 100 miles an hour, and I don't expect anything different.
What did he do? He won 8 out of his first 10 games.
Yeah, but he also didn't face the same level of opponent. Guess what? I looked at your fixtures. You have some good fixtures coming up.
Yeah, we got Burnley and Sunderland, I think.
You got some good fixtures coming up. After Arsenal, you're going to be facing Swansea, Burnley, Real Betis, Sunderland. Then you face you could go and win 5 on the bounce after this Arsenal game.
This manager thing, I would have liked it to happen either a week ago or in a week's time. That makes sense. This Arsenal game is coming at the wrong time for us.
100%. And it's no disrespect to your team. I just think you're going to see a different Arsenal in this game, and it has nothing to do
with... Just don't be too cocky on this one, Egal. Because
no.
I'm sure a lot of...
I think I'm being quite honest. I'm being fair.
Yeah, but I'm also saying you probably haven't seen Bakwa play. Bakwa is fantastic. Trust me. He's going to be a big name this season. Douglas Luiz coming back into the Premier League. I'm expecting him to start. Excellent footballer. So the midfield, if Forest go with Anderson, Gibbs White, and Douglas Luiz, that in general, forget this Arsenal game, that's a very strong midfield. Anderson's been absolutely balling it out for England in the last. Okay, the oppositions were crap, but there's just be careful, bro. Just be careful. I'm coming into this game. I'm not showing too much chest, but remember the unknown is Ange in this.
Bro, weren't you just saying in the Liverpool game we should go into games being like we're gonna take it to you? It's not being cocky when I say we're going into this game at home expected to win, and not only win but try to win comfortably. As off the back of all the criticism we've been facing for the last 2 weeks during the international break after the Liverpool game, obviously we're gonna go out there and try to show.
Yeah, but you showing me chest. You showing me chest is different to showing Anfield away chest. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Forest win at Anfield. That's easy. We did it last season. Just copied what we did, bro.
It doesn't happen often. Not a lot of teams win away at Anfield. Let's be honest.
I've seen that stat. Ellen is saying Ange's never
break it down. How do you think you actually get a draw? What happens to lead to you guys getting a draw?
No idea. Not a clue, bro. I've said over the last 24 hours, I'm nervously excited about this Ange thing because I have no idea what's gonna happen, bro. Not a clue. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna do my preview. I know we're doing a preview later with you, Pots, me, Hooks, etc. on our channel. I just don't know that any Forest fan can sit here and tell you who they even think will start, let alone how we're gonna play. All I know is I've ordered some popcorn because it's gonna be one hell of a ride, and I'm here for it. I'm here. I want to see some exciting football, but I also want to know that Ange has learned from his mistake at Spurs or mistakes at Spurs. Yeah.
Okay. For me, I already know Calafiori is gonna push forward. Timber's gonna tuck in. You're gonna have Mascara. You're gonna have Mascara. If I could show you a visual of how I think we're gonna play, I might bore some people out of this, but I do think this is exactly how we're gonna see Arsenal in the build-up and in the attack. I think you're gonna see more of a situation where Odegaard and all these guys are gonna be playing like this. You're gonna have a situation where Madueke pushes forward. Odegaard's gonna be in this space when Madueke is over there. Zubimendi's gonna Eze is gonna be over here. You're gonna have Calafiori pushing forward to give width, and you're gonna see a situation where I know he's gonna be. It's gonna be like that. I think that's how it's gonna be when we're in possession and when we're trying to pin teams back. You're gonna see us pushing forward with Calafiori, and it's going to be a situation where Gabriel is going to be covering that left side with Rice, and Zubamendi and Timber are going to be covering this side.
By the way, I like Timber a lot.
Timber's quality, man.
I remember telling Turkish a couple of years back when you signed him that he was going to be a star signing. He then went and got injured in that game against Forest, and you lot didn't see him for a year, so I apologize. But he is one hell of a player, so I can see that.
If we had him, maybe we would have won the league. Who knows?
Injury FC again. I hear it, bro.
There you go. You had to dig it out, eh?
Squeezed it in.
There we go. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. What does Arteta have to do to prove you wrong? Just win the league.
Win the league.
If he wins the FA Cup or League Cup, that doesn't prove you wrong.
No.
If
bro,
he wins the Champions
if I've
League,
seen Ten Hag win those trophies, I don't come on.
And you see, when I tell people winning the Champions League and the league is the only barometer we should be focusing on, people are like, "You're crazy." Because I'm thinking the only thing that actually moves this project forward is if we win the league or the Champions League. If we win the FA Cup or League Cup, does it really prove anything?
No, I slightly disagree with you because he should have been winning a League Cup or an FA Cup in the last couple of seasons just to keep things ticking along. That's the difference. It builds winning mentality.
That's not what I'm saying, though. What I'm saying is, does winning the FA Cup or League Cup change your impression of this Arsenal team mentality-wise?
No, as an outsider looking in, no, because I've seen Ten Hag win those recently. So exactly. If he can do that, I mean, it's embarrassing that Arteta can't do it if he's done it. So you know, it's like my manager has won big. How about this, Egal? My manager has won bigger trophies than you in the last 12 months.
Yeah, he won the Europa League with Tottenham, not your club.
Oh, well, he's my manager, though.
You're shameless if you're claiming Tottenham's Europa League.
I'll claim it, man. I'll claim it.
Nah, you're shameless. You're shameless. But hey, if you guys win the Europa League with Ange and he goes back-to-back Europa Leagues, that would be impressive.
I wonder if that's ever been done before. Has any manager won the Europa League back-to-back seasons with different clubs?
I don't know. That's something to ask ChatGPT. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Surely somebody must have done it. But hey,
because I think it kind of happened because what club sacks a manager who's just won them a European trophy? I think he did it with Sevilla in the same club. I'm saying in two different clubs.
Emery won back-to-back. I don't know if he wanted to say it. But his was shameless. Like, he got knocked out of the Champions League, won it again. Said, fuck it. It's almost like he wanted to get knocked out of the Champions League. Now that Villa are in the Europa League, maybe you got to worry about them.
I did it Villarreal and Sevilla. Yeah, that might be right.
No, but he was at Arsenal and PSG in between that time.
Yeah, so it wasn't back-to-back then.
No, he was at PSG, then Arsenal, then he went to Villarreal, and then he won it.
Yeah, I'm saying season 1, you win it. Season 2, you win it with a different club. Even in the Champions, any European trophy, I can't think of anyone who's done it. It's definitely a ChatGPT.
I know a player who's done it. Eto won back-to-back Champions Leagues.
Yeah, I know a team that's done that. My team, right? I hear it, bro. Like it's a very unique thing. Only Forest and Liverpool have done it back to back in the English teams. Have you done it back to back yet?
We haven't won a European trophy.
Okay, I was just checking.
We've won the Cup Winners' Cup. We've won Interfair Cup, and we were actually in a Super Cup, but we lost it to AC Milan.
Oh, you haven't even won a Super Cup?
No, we were in a Super Cup versus AC Milan. We lost that.
Bro, like, what are we saying to him? I've got a Super Cup as well.
Yeah, of course you do. You're one of the best teams at the time in Europe, but that was a long time ago. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here, boys. Final prediction one more time. You're saying 1-1?
2-2. You should win, but I think 2-2.
2-2. Fair.
2-2, yeah.
I'm gonna go 3-0 Arsenal.
3-0.
Yeah, 3-0. That's what the score was last year.
Yeah, but we're a different team now.
I think we'll see the same score. Hopefully, Gyokeres goal. Hopefully,
what did they say
Gyökeres
in the
brace.
poll? What did they say in the poll?
Hopefully, Gyökeres brace. It was actually close. You got 48% saying Arsenal will win, 35% saying Forest will win, 18% saying draw. So
I like the 35%.
Must be a lot of Liverpool fans from Big Six fans. But yeah, we're gonna send you over to who's live right now. Let's see who's live to send you over to. And by the way, I like the fact that you rate Gyökeres. Some people are switching their tunes now that Gyökeres is here, acting like they don't rate him. It's kind of stupid.
Bro, he scores goals. That's what a striker is meant to do.
Exactly.
Who cares about the rest of it? As long as he scores goals, he's good. It's that
There
simple.
You go. Must win on Saturday for Arsenal, though, regardless of losing to Liverpool.
We're back on Mine Tonight at 9. Yeah, that's going to be fun. You, Parts, Hooks, me, and Crypto 3-on-3. Let's see how it goes down.
There you go. And have yourselves a wonderful day, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm going to send you over to, Deluded Gooners channel. Tell him Egal sent you, Egal Raid. Go into his chat. Tell him we're going to win the league. You already know what it is. We're out of here, people. Catch you guys in the next one. Love with the love. Peace. And thank you, Wolfie, as always.